Hello everyone, Michael May coming from my mobile office. Let's talk about contracts today. There are three contingencies in the residential purchase agreement. And a residential purchase agreement is the contract that the buyer submits into the seller to purchase the property. There are three contingencies. One is the buyer inspection contingency. The second one is the appraisal contingency. And the third is the loan contingency. Buyer inspection contingency is section 14B1 in the contract. That allows the buyer to perform inspections on the house. And actually, in my opinion, it's the most important one because it allows the buyer to cancel really for any numerous use cases. So make sure that the buyer gets on with the home inspection and looks at all the prelim and all the disclosures. The second one is the appraisal contingency. The home needs to appraise and should appraise for the buyer to waive that, to remove that contingency. The buyer might not necessarily get the loan if the house doesn't appraise. And if it doesn't appraise, the buyer may feel that they're paying too much for the house. The third contingency is the loan contingency. The buyer needs to remove the loan contingency, and they actually have to get a loan. If it doesn't appraise, then they might not get a loan. So they need to make sure that they get the loan to remove that loan contingency. So those are the three: the buyer inspections, the appraisal contingency, and also the loan contingency. The buyer inspection contingency and the appraisal contingency should be removed within 17 days. And the loan contingency should be removed in 21 days. It's good to note for the seller to understand that if the buyer fails to remove those contingencies and the timelines they're obligated to remove them in the residential purchase agreement, that they don't have the seller just doesn't have the rights to cancel on the buyer. The seller has to issue a notice of buyer to perform for the buyer to remove those contingencies. The buyer has 48 hours to perform. Now, if the buyer doesn't perform and remove those contingencies within 48 hours, then the seller has the rights to to cancel on the buyer. So if you have any questions regarding the contingencies, give me a call. Have a great day.